So this is interesting. I wanted to talk about this because when this came out, I was looking through a lot of comments, just seeing what people's perspective is and if the person and what this person did was going to change people's perspective. And it did, unfortunately. So Vlad filed a lawsuit against Joyner Lucas. And if you're just hearing that with no context, and if you're somebody who hates Vlad for whatever reason, you're automatically going to side with Joyner Lucas. But if you actually look at the context, it's very valid that this lawsuit happened. Very valid. So let's go over the article. DJ Vlad has filed a federal lawsuit against rapper Joyner Lucas, accusing him of copyright infringement after Lucas allegedly reposted a Vlad TV interview clip without permission. According to an exclusive report from All Hip Hop's Grouchy Greg, Vlad is seeking up to $150,000 in statutory damages, reimbursement for legal fees, and permanent injunction, barring Joyner Lucas from using or sharing any Vlad TV content in the future. The lawsuit also requests a full accounting of any profits Lucas may have generated from the viral post. Vlad, whose real name is Vlad Loyoboyvanev, and who owns Hot in Here Inc., the parent company of Vlad TV, claims Lucas posted a 5-minute segment from the outlet's popular interview series to his X account on July 6. He claims that he intentionally cropped out Vlad's watermark and failing to provide credit. The clip in question features a comedian, Aries Spears, mocking British rap, originally titled Aries Spears Clown British Rappers. That shit sounds ridiculous. Part 12. The lawsuit alleges Lucas uploaded the video to his 1.5 million followers, where it quickly gained viral traction. Moreover, it racked up over 4.4 million views, 2,800 reposts, and 20,000 likes before being removed by DMCA, which is a copyright strike, essentially. So Joyner Lucas responded to that. So let's go over his response, and then I want to go over this whole story and kind of my thoughts on it. After the news broke, Joyner Lucas took Twitter with a scathing message. He said, "When you get sued because you ain't want to do an interview, SMH lame guy been stalking me for years to go on his weak ass channel. And when he finally realized I won't sit down with his bitch ass because I hate everything about him, he decides he's going to try to extort me out of one instead. SMH at DJ Vlad, you got to be the bitchest of all bitch guys alive." He's using that word, but I'm just saying, guys. You want a clout so bad, here's your clown emoji. And then he said, ho. Lucas included alleged text screenshots of Vlad offering to drop the lawsuit in exchange for an interview and a screenshot of his response. "Dear Vlad, suck my dick," he expressed. "Call your attorney and do whatever you have to do. I wasn't ever going to do an interview with before in this lifetime, and you're definitely not getting an interview now. So settle your legal matters however you want to settle them. P-word. And then I always thought you were a bitch, and this confirms the kind of bitch you are. No way in this lifetime or next will I ever allow someone like you to try to extort me out of an interview. You got me all the way effed up." DJ Vlad actually responded on Twitter, reposting it on his Instagram. "I'm going to respond to Joyner Lucas' temper tantrum over me suing him for copyright infringement later this week." He wrote, "Everything I'll talk about will be facts. They're going to skip that part, though." Yeah, so I'm a content creator, right? And I actually had this happen to me with the DT interview that I did. When you're taking interview clips or you're taking content from anyone, anyone, you do have to give credit where credit is due. That's why you see a lot of big news platforms. They'll message or they'll comment or they'll DM the person and say, "Hey, can we use this on our platform?" And if you say yes, okay, then they'll use it and they have your consent. Or, the media outlet will pay you and say, "Hey, we want to use this. We'll give you whatever, $100, $500, whatever the case may be," right? Because there's people that get like these viral moments and it's just one clip and, it becomes this moment and they have the little internet fame and they move on, right? But Vlad is obviously a content creator like me, and we consistently produce content. And unfortunately, sometimes our content gets stolen, reposted, reshared, whatever the case may be. From my personal experience, I had somebody take my DT interview, put it in a YouTube short, and the motherfucker generated like 1.3 million views in like a week, which is way more than I ever generated on YouTube Shorts. So I was like, what the fuck? I find out about it because DT shares it, and then I copyright strike it. I immediately copyright strike it because he took my logo out completely. No asking, no nothing. Didn't even have the decency to like link my full interview in the fucking clip. And I'm very lenient because I have to deal with copyright with my documentaries and stuff. I'm very lenient. I'm the type of person that if you just literally message, DM me and say, hey, can I use this? I'll be like, yeah, it's no problem. No charging you, no nothing. I have no big deal about it. And Vlad is pretty lenient too. He lets people use a minute of his clip on anything. If you go over a minute, then you got to get permission. And, however you feel about Vlad doesn't matter, because you just got to look at it from the perspective of if you had content that was being made that you put time, effort, money into, and people are taking it without giving you your proper credit, that's not the right thing to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If that was you, somebody was taking your video, making money off your content, which took time for you to make and for you to record, and he has a staff of people he has to pay, the interviewer he has to pay, all this stuff. And the same thing with me when I do a DT, I have to pay my time, all this stuff to make sure it happens. And somebody just takes it and reposts it and grows their channel and gets money off it with no hard work, that's a big problem. That's something that should not fly. That's, so Vlad taking it down and then saying, hey, you can use my stuff. We just sit down and do an interview. That'd be cool. Like, why would Joyner take a disliking to that so much? I don't know why Joyner would dislike Vlad. Maybe Vlad said something he doesn't like, but take away your feelings from Vlad, because I know people are going to comment and be like, oh, Vlad's a piece of shit. He's a culture, whatever. Like, Vlad's done a lot for hip-hop, whether you guys want to recognize it or not. He's interviewed people that have never been interviewed for certain things, and he's not police, man. There's, proof that he's not police. The guy doesn't, he'll probably ask police-ass questions, but it's really on the artist, man. You don't have to answer this shit. Nobody is putting a gun to your head to answer this stuff. You can just say, hey, next question. I don't want to talk about it. That's it. Keep it moving. Like me, for example, when I asked Buck about the chain situation, which is past statute of limitations, all that shit's done, long overdue. But let's just say Buck was like, I don't want to talk about it. Keep it moving. That's it. Doesn't have to answer anything. There's no gun to his head to make him answer anything. So when people attack Vlad for this type of stuff, I'm like, it makes no sense to me. I'm like, dude, nobody is forcing anyone to go on Vlad TV. Nobody is putting a gun to these artists' head. Nobody's forcing them to do anything. They go on there because they know Vlad has a big platform. They want to push themselves as well and get bigger. I mean, look at Tony Yayo. Tony Yayo's career has literally done a whole 360 because he's been on Vlad doing these interviews, having viral moments, and now he's doing interviews with Club Shay Shay and all these other platforms, starting his own podcast and thing and doing his own thing. And Vlad has helped a lot of artists who really aren't making any type of buzz or anything, even comedians and whoever, by putting him on his platform, and it helps Vlad because obviously he gets viewers because he has content to post, and they get a bigger audience because people are more interested in them. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I had Lord Jamar was somebody I was not even paying attention to because when they were popping, I wasn't even born for the most part, basically. I was born in 1995. Lord Jamar's time was long ass time ago. So I wasn't paying attention to him or what he was doing, but I started liking his interviews and stuff because he was just having very cool, interesting interviews. And I learned about him through that. There's a lot of people that I had no idea about that I learned through Vlad. So Vlad does a great service, and he interviews people, interviewing one of the police officers or ambulance people that during the Pac shooting incident. He talks about the person who actually held Pac in his hands as he was dying. That's a cool ass interview that nobody ever thought of doing. Nobody took out the time to be like, hey, maybe this is somebody that, could tell an interesting story. But, people don't look at it that way. Unfortunately, some people just have this narrative with Vlad where they're like, fuck this guy. He's a Fed. He's a police officer. I hate him. But it is what it is, man. Vlad's done a lot, whether people want to admit it or not. There's always going to be people that dislike, the people that dislike me for no reason. I haven't done shit, but they'll end up people hating for no reason. So Joyner doesn't, Joyner getting mad and doing all this. Joyner literally took someone's clip, cropped out his logo, made it very abundantly clear that he doesn't like Vlad. He took his logo out, which is as clear as day. You're stealing. That's 100% you're stealing. Because if he had his logo in there, it would have been a little bit. I bet Vlad wouldn't have been as upset because Vlad's pretty lenient, like I said, on people using his stuff. Pretty lenient. Now, if you're taking full clips and just re-uploading, that's a different story. But every now and then, I've had videos, he has that 1 minute rule, but I've had videos of his interviews where I'm putting a documentary and it's gone over a minute. I've never gotten copyright striking for that because he's been very lenient about that stuff. Because he knows I've been in that position too. So me, if somebody were to take my Young Buck interview, DT, or my Give It Try documentary and parts of it, either just give credit or just ask for permission. I mean, the easiest way is just to give credit because, asking for permission, I can't respond to everybody's email if they're asking for permission. But just give credit. Tag, if you're on TikTok, tag my official TikTok at Diverse Mentality. If you're on X, tag, it's really just that simple. But people don't even want to do that, or people just don't know to do that. There's some people that just repost and they don't really care. I mean, you should know to do that because you're taking somebody else's stuff. Yeah, if you read comments on this lawsuit, man, you'll have people saying, man, fuck that guy. He's the feds. Why is he suing? Like, it's clear as day why he's suing, because it's his content. You can't take his stuff. Just like I can't go in your house and take whatever you got in your house or whatever you've done on social media. I can't take your clips without your approval. Like, imagine you're making content, right? And I take your clips and I blow up off your shit and you're doing all the hard work. Like, how would you feel? I'm not saying that's what's happening with Vlad, because Vlad's already blown up, but that's essentially what, if this flies, then anybody can do it. Doesn't matter what level. So me, all I care about is credit. Just give me the credit, because I know copyright shit gets annoying because I had to deal with it. So I have sympathy for people that, use clips and want to, use them for specific reasons. But just give me credit. Like that guy who got those piece of shit views, like no credit at all, nothing, bro. Just straight ripped it. He added his little touch to it, adding images, but it's still my clip. Like, you have to get approval or at least give credit. That way you show good intention. When you don't get approval, even if you don't get approval from the person, right? Not don't get approval, but let's say you don't get a response to use the footage from the person. Because if you don't get approval, then you can't use it. But let's say you don't get a response from the person. At least give credit, because that shows good faith. That shows that, like, hey, I'm not here just trying to steal. I'm trying to give props to to the actual person who did the work. So that's my take on it. I hope you guys understand where that viewpoint is coming from, because I'm a content creator myself. So it makes that viewpoint, it just makes sense in general. It's really, really easy to understand. And, does Vlad need a Joyner Lucas interview? No. I think, honestly, Vlad would be helping Joyner Lucas with the interview a lot more than anything else. So there's no disrespect, I think, from Vlad's end. He's just like, why do that? And then why backtrack and treat me like shit? Because a lot of, there's people that hate Vlad, and it's literally just because maybe they don't like his voice or the way he does interviews. It's like nothing personal. It's just people, if they don't like you, some people just don't like you just because they don't like you. There's nothing you can really do about that. Not everybody in the world is going to like you. I could really care less. There's people that legitimately, they judge me off of a second clip. Like on Instagram, I'll get immediately, you're white, why are you speaking all this? You're culture vulture, you don't know shit about hip hop. Like immediately. And it's like, dude, I've been doing this shit I've been delivering content for hip hop since I was 12 years old. I am 30. So I've been doing this my whole life, studying hip hop, respecting hip hop, all this. But there'll be somebody will see a clip, me being, a white person, just be like, fuck this guy, he's a culture vulture. He doesn't know shit about what he's talking about. And that's the same thing Vlad gets. That's the same thing a lot of white people, unfortunately, get without, people just actually watching the stuff. But who cares about those people? They don't really know about what I do. They don't know my content. The people that actually watch me understand. So there's nothing you can do about that, man. There's people that are going to see split seconds of you, and they're just going to judge you off that split second, and that's it. Nothing you could do about that. So yeah, just overall interesting, man. We'll see what happens with this. We'll see what Vlad's side of the story is, because he's saying he's going to expose the truth, which, yeah, that'll be interesting as well, because he probably has a DMs or things of maybe Joyner saying, yeah, we'll do the interview, and just never followed up on it. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward.